plant condition is a characteristic of platy structure. The pH of the soil at which the soil colloids possess no net charge. 0 point of charge. Alkali soils with pH of less than 8.5 and an electrical conductivity greater than or equal to 4 mmHg/cm. Saline. The only group of soil organism which can thrive at any pH range. Fungi. The first redox reaction to occur upon submergence of unaerated soil. Disappearance of oxygen. This macronutrient is a part of the middle lamella and is deficient in acid upland soil. Calcium. Movement of inorganic and organic materials from one horizon to another, either up and down. Translocation. They are soft, unconsolidated deposits of calcium carbonate. Marl or marlstone. The major group of soil microorganisms where molds and mushroom belong. Fungi. Leaves and stems accumulate in the forest. Remnants of annual and perennial grasses are trampled in a pasture land. These illustrate how the kind and amount of organic material decomposed can affect soil formation. Which soil formation factor is being described here? Living organisms. In soil genesis, what is considered to be the starting point of the soil formation at time 0? Parent material. The most dominant soil microorganisms in the organic layer of forest soils. Bacteria. Soil conditions which can reduce the ferric to ferrous, hence making the iron phosphate complex more soluble. Prolonged anaerobic conditions. It is a wet oxidation method of determining the organic matter content of soils. Walkie-Black method. Organic compounds which range in complexity from simple sugars and starches to cellulose. Carbohydrates. The process by which one plant infuses the soil with a chemical that affects the growth of other plants. Allelopathy. If a ring without crack is formed in the roll method of determining texture, the texture is most likely clay loam. Which among this mineral does not contribute any soil nutrient? Quartz. Aside from carbon and hydrogen, the other macroelement constituent of organic compound in the plant is oxygen. This horizon is seldom reached by the plant roots and is little affected by soil-forming factors because it is outside the zone of affected by soil-forming factors because it is outside the zone of sea horizon. Involved in energy storage in the plant and is a constituent of phospholipids, nucleoproteins, and is deficient in acid upland soil. Phosphorus. This micronutrient is needed in nitrogen fixation by leguminous plant and is usually deficient in acid upland soil. Molybdenum. This micronutrient is needed in nitrogen fixation by leguminous plant and is usually deficient in acid upland soil. Molybdenum. In a very extremely acidic soil, these elements are toxic to plants except calcium. Which of the following elements is not essential to plant growth? Aluminum. It is not a function of organic matter in the soil. Provides soil air. The soil enzyme which catalyzes the hydrolysis of starch. Amylase. The sum of all tillage operations, cropping practices, fertilizer, lime and other treatments conducted on or applied to a soil for the production of plants. Soil management. The trade name of potassium chloride fertilizer. Muriate of potash fortified. An organic fertilizer material which had been enriched with microbial inoculants, hormones and/or chemical additives to. Fortified organic fertilizer. The process by which nutritional problems are diagnosed and fertilizer recommendations are made. Soil fertility evaluation. It is an indicator of biological activity in the soil. Soil respiration. It belongs to 2,1 silicate clay minerals. Montmorillonite. The mineral nutrient needed by the plant in the smallest amount. Molybdenum. Involves the accumulations of organic matter in the upper layers. Glassation. The most common iron oxide in soil. Goethite. The most important aluminum oxide in soils. Gibbsite. The most resistant component of plant materials to decomposition. Lignin. It is a soil chemical condition that is common in dry regions. Soil alkalinity. The weight of 1 micah is 0.02 grams. Which among the following cations has the weakest attraction to the clay? Sodium. Which among the following cations has the strongest attraction to the clay? Aluminum. It is the most important soil animal. Earthworm. The theory of mineral nutrients was formulated by Liebig. Accumulation on the mineral soil surface of organic Lithologic-associated humus to a depth of less than 30 centimeters. Littering. The percentage of mineral matter in the soil. 45%. The sand fraction is composed mainly of primary minerals. Organic matter decomposition is an example of transformation. He introduced the factors of soil formation. Tkachev. The geologic or organic precursor of the soil. Parent material. The parent material that has been deposited by gravity. Colluvial. The collective term given to accumulated plant debris. Peat. The configuration of the island surface. Topography. The time at which the development of soil begins. Time zero. Well-drained slopes would enhance soil development. Rocks formed from the solidification and crystallization of magma. Igneous rock. The term for fine texture igneous rocks. Aphanitic. It is an example of sedimentary rocks. Sandstone. The common characteristics of sedimentary rocks. Stratification. The most common primary mineral in rocks. Feldspar. The most resistant rock-forming mineral. Quartz. The reaction between water and the elements of the rock or mineral. Hyclosis. Stokes' law states that settling of particles in a liquid medium is directly proportions to the square of its diameter. The type of soil structure common in a horizon. Granular. It is considered as the start of aggregation. Flocculation. Now plus. A basic cation which inhibits aggregation. A basic cation which enhances dispersion. Null. The formula of particle density. PD equals Miss versus the attraction of water for soil particles. Adhesion. The force resulting from the attraction of soil solids. Metric force. The standard method for soil water content measurement. Gravimetric. The metric potential in the soil at saturation point. 0 bar. At field capacity, water is held at a tension of A 1/3 bar B PF 2.5 C 33 kilopascals. At permanent wilting point, water is held at a tension of 15 bars. The driving force of water flow under saturated condition. Hydraulic gradient. The law that governs the diffusion of gases in soils. Fick's law. A general guideline in liming lime-only soils that have a pH of less than 5.0. As the concentration of H+ ion decreases, the telephone increases. The charge produced when the soil is too acid. Positive. The ion that replaces the C in the tetrahedron. Al3+. Which one of the element possesses a positive charge? Zn. The net charge of most agricultural soil is negative. This colloid obtains its negative charge from dissociation of Fl+A, absorb more solar radiation ions from carboxylic and or phenolic functional groups. Humus. The kind of charge produced through isomorphous substitution is permanent charge. This ion aids in the dispersion of colloids. Na plus. This ion aids in flocculation of colloids. Ca2+. The determination of soil pH using color indicators is referred to colorimetric. Imparts a yellowish color to soils. Goethite. Dark-colored soils. Absorb more solar radiation. The acronym ESP means exchangeable sodium percentage. At very low pH, available P may be precipitated as alhydroxyapatite. At very high pH, available P may be precipitated as carhydroxyapatite. The horizon with the maximum leaching of constituents. E-horizon. A horizon that has the properties of two adjacent horizons. Transition horizon. The abrupt change in texture or mineralogy in the soil profile is termed lithologic discontinuity. The rock that has been weathered but has retained the general rock structure is called saprolite. It is the standard reagent to determine the cation exchange capacity of the soil. Ammonium acetate. A crop residue that has 75% organic carbon and 5% total nitrogen will have a CN ratio of 15:1. With the assumption that N is a component of OM, to calculate the total N of the soil is to multiply OM by 5%. Earthworm burrowing activity in the soil enhances aeration. Which crop is not capable of N fixation? Potato. Sunlight is the specific source of energy of this microorganisms. Phototrophs. A greenhouse gas that is produced by the decomposition of organic matter in wet soils such as in rice paddies. Methane. A greenhouse gas that is produced during decomposition of organic matter in well-drained soils. Carbon dioxide. A 50 kilograms urea contains how many kilograms of nitrogen? 23. A cabbage plant needs 240 kilograms N per hectare. How many kilograms of 21-0-0 is needed to satisfy the requirement? 1,142.80 kilograms. To be more effective, a liming material should be applied at the proper time. This is usually done at 3 to 4 weeks before planting. Erosion which remove very less soil particles. Sheet erosion. An erosion which begins at the lower end of a slope and finds its way back uphill. Erosion which is prevalent among the following, which soil conservation technique is the least effective in dissipating raindrop impact? A type of erosion that results from the natural processes of weathering whereby soil erosion is nearly of the same rate of soil formation. An instrument that is used to locate contour lines in a sloping area. A type of erosion control applicable to areas undergoing negligible erosion. Rocks that were formed from the partial melting of existing rocks due to heat, pressure, chemical action. Volcanic rocks consisting of accumulation of fragments blasted from volcanoes are in the most scale of hardness of minerals, it is the softest mineral. The clay mineral with an average cation exchange capacity of 5 to 15 me/100 grams. Add high moisture content in the soil. Soil water potential is add low moisture content in the soil. Soil moisture tension is if a crop residue contains 60% organic carbon and 5% total nitrogen, its CN ration is which of the following microorganisms is very sensitive to potassium levels in soil and therefore useful in diagnosing potassium deficiency? The most efficient organic matter decomposes under acidic soil conditions are a soil with bulk density of 1.3 grams per centimeter 3 and particle density of 2.60 grams per centimeter 3 will have a porosity of type of soil structure best suited for growing upland crops. A substance diagnostic horizon characterized by silicate clay accumulation. A highly weathered subsurface horizon consisting of an accumulation of Fe and Al oxides. A hard pan strongly cemented by silica. The soil moisture regime characterized by sufficient moisture C.U. stores throughout the year. The soil temperature regime when the average annual temperature is more than 22 degrees Celsius and the difference between mean summer and mean winter is less than 5 degrees Celsius. These are soils with little or no profile development. These are soils formed from volcanic ash and young volcanic materials. The cracking and swelling soils common in lowland areas which are used for rice production. These are well-developed soils with low base saturation common in forest and upland areas. These are highly weathered soils in the humid tropics. Uggs. The name typic tripijults is for the category of subgroup. The standard procedure to determine nitrogen content of soils. Kjeldahl Method. A group of soils having the same profile characteristics and parent materials. Soil series. A type of soil survey which procedures maps with a scale of 1/15,000 to 1/5,000. Detailed. Mayo's clay is an example of a soil type. The most important cause of soil degradation. Soil erosion. The first step of soil erosion by water. Detachment. A type of soil erosion characterized by uniform removal of soil. Sheet erosion. The ability of rainfall to cause soil erosion. Erosivity. It is not a master horizon. It refers to the true soil. Solemn. A type of B horizon showing significantly clay accumulation. BT. The pores created by soil animals are called biopores. It is used to destroy organic matter during the textural analysis. H2O2. It is the chemical dispersing agent during textural analysis. Sodium hexametaphosphate.